guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I just wanted to do a really light look today because I was just going to my boyfriend's house, and honestly, like, I wasn't even going to do eyeshadow today. I was going to do like a really light look and just do like mascara, liner, and like a primer, and then like brow gel and a lip product. But then I decided to just put on a little bit. I just didn't feel like blending eyeshadow today, so I did like really easy like single shadows in the crease for once. So I used some of my Makeup Geek eyeshadows because actually like I had already had the mascara done, but then I was like, I kind of want to add like a crease shade and like a shimmer shade. By the way, I have no idea what the hell happened to this shade in here. I think it's in my other single shadow mess, but I used to use these all the time. Like, as you can see, I have quite a bit of pan in some of them. So I went into just creme brulee and just wiped that and threw that in the crease, not wiped it. These are all Makeup Geek shadows, by the way, that I used. And then I went in with Shimma Shimma on the lid, just a little bit. And then I went in with the shade Rapunzel, also by Makeup Geek, on the brow bone. And then for the inner corners, I just went in with Rapunzel, and that was it. I just didn't really feel like doing anything too crazy, so really didn't have to. Like, I can just do more of an everyday look, and it's not like the end of the world. And then for my waterline, I just went into my LA Girl liner in the shade White. And then for my mascara, I just went into the ColourPop Lengthening Mascara and the Level Up Mascara in the shade Brown, if I could speak. And then for my primer, I just went into the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. I just went in with that all over my face. I'm tired. I'm sorry. And then for my concealer, I just went into the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. I just put a little bit under my eyes and like in my T-zone. I didn't do foundation today. I really didn't feel like doing tinted moisturizer. I just wanted to do concealer. And then I just set with the House Labs powder underneath my eyes. And then I just went in with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder all over my face. And that like works pretty well to like blur the skin. And then I just went in with a quick blush and highlight. I didn't even do bronzer. Again, I didn't really feel like it. I was so lazy today. Just because I got home later last night, I just wanted to do an easy look. So for my blush, I just went into this shade Bliss, also by Makeup Geek. It's just like one of the single blushes, and these are such good solid blushes, so I like going in with them when I can. Again, if I could speak today. And then I just went in with
here's some music from your library.
No, I did not want to do that. Why is it? Sorry, I don't know why it does that. That's my HomePod for sorry. And then for my highlighter, I just went in with the shade Cheers on the cheeks. And then for the brows, I just set with the ColourPop Brow Blush Gel, and then I just set my face with the Rare Beauty Setting Spray. And then for my lips, I just went into the NYX Fat Oiled Slick Click Skinny Lip Balm Stick, such a name, in the shade link in my bio, because I just wanted to use that again. And that was it. That's all I did today. Probably gonna do that a little bit more often now, because again, like, I don't have to wear like a full face of makeup sometimes. Sometimes I just want to just do an easy look. So yeah, that's it for the makeup. And then for my reading update, I started the Ballad of Never After last night, and I got like 20 pages in because I didn't start reading until like 2 in the morning or something, because I didn't really get into bed until then. But then I was already getting sleepy because, like I said, I already finished Once Upon a Broken Heart yesterday. But today I got to page 173. So like I said, these books are pretty easy to get through. They're very easy reads, and they're not really that much. They're not too wordy. That they're, like I said, they're kind of easy fantasies to get through. But I hate to say this. It's probably going to pick up like halfway through, but I'm not really that invested in this one at this current moment as compared to the first one. Like the first one, like I was so into it by like page 50. It like really started to pick up by then because like in the beginning it was a little bit slow, but honestly like the way that she set up the story like really was great in that book. So I really hope it picks up a little bit more. I'm pretty sure it will in the last like 200 pages, honestly, but I'm almost halfway through and I'm just like, nah. I don't know. I just feel like some books don't really live up to the hype, like Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. I feel like we're a little bit better than this book at this current moment, but again, I think it's going to pick up. I just feel like it's a lot of repetitive things like recalling from the first book, which books do a lot, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I just want something a little bit more to happen. I mean, there's been like a couple of shock moments in this, but nothing like too crazy. Like one of the characters ends up being alive and then the other character ends up being a vampire. So that was the only thing that really was like, oh, whoa. But like the first book, I felt like there was a lot more like jaw-dropping moments that I was like, oh my God, rather than like this point in this book right now. But again, I think it'll pick up. But at the same time, like sometimes maybe just the hype for this series is making this a higher rated book. But I'm still enjoying it, but I'm not like as invested into the story right now as I was with the first one. Like the first one, I was like eating up every moment. So I'm not like, oh my God, I want to read this so bad. Like it's more like the first one I felt like that. But I don't know. They're shorter reads. They're easy fantasy books to read. So it's been a nice, enjoyable, easy reading experience. So again, if you want to start getting back into reading again, I highly recommend this trilogy because, again, it's just so easy to get into. You really don't even feel like you're reading, to be honest, because it's easier to read than, like, Divine Rivals, honestly, because the font is bigger for these, and it's also the same size as the Divine Rivals hardcovers were. And the font is bigger, and the words aren't as small. Because I find that when the words are too tiny, it gives me a headache reading. Not that I'm like, oh shit, it's going to take me forever to get through this book now. It's more so like I'm literally getting a headache trying to read this book. And I'm like this, like trying to read the font. So that's why I just opted to read those on my Kindle. So yeah, I'm going to go. I'm seeing Dune tomorrow with my friend that I saw yesterday, but we knew we wanted to see Dune this week. We're so excited. We're seeing it in IMAX. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow night. And then I'll see my boyfriend Wednesday and Thursday. And then I'm working Friday. And then Saturday's my mom's birthday. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I just got back from seeing Dune. And oh my God, it was so fucking good. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you do. If you haven't seen the first one, I highly suggest you do. So I prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I use the Kajal lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay Brush powder. And then for my eyeshadow palettes, I went into two of my Nomad palettes. I actually don't think I've combined these two. I'm not really sure. These are actually my two favorite Nomad palettes that I own. The Whistler Snow Lodge and the Royal Europe palette. So I used like one shade from this, and then I used the other shade on my lid. So I went in with this shade in the crease, which is Après Ski. Excuse me. And then for the defining shade in outer corner, I went into the Royal Europe palette, and I just used these two shades. And I went in with Willano Palace to define, and then I used the King's Room on the outer corners. Those are the only two shades that I used. I almost dropped that again. Let's not drop palettes, Caitlin, because I used both of the shimmers from the Whistler Snow Lodge. Can I speak? I used the shade Powder Specialist all over the lid, and it was super pretty. And then I went into Ski In on the inner corners. So I love this palette. It was just another excuse to use it before the winter is over, because I don't typically use this past the winter time because it's such a winter themed palette to me. Not that you can't, but I'm just saying, like, I typically don't. Then I went in with my Makeup by Mario liner in the shade Black. I've just been using that one again. I probably should just repurchase them at this point because I think that they're better than the Makeup Forever ones. And then I went in with the Essence Lash Primer on the top lashes, and then I just went in with the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. Tartelette. And then I went in with the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And then, no, the e.l.f. Why did it wear off on my nose so much? Do you see that? It's like super red. And then it's fine. I'm not going to redo it now. And then I went in with the e.l.f. Liquid Putty Primer. Duh. And then for my foundation, I just went into the Glossier one again. This is the Stretch Fluid Foundation in the shade Very Light. And then for my concealer, I went into the Tarte C Hydroflex Concealer in the shade Porcelain 8S. And then I set my under eyes with Pembergrass Labs powder. And then I set my face with Urban Decay Pressed Powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the House Labs bronzer again in the shade Light Level 1. It's like one of my go-tos. And then for my blush, I went into the MAC holiday palette that I got from like 2 years ago. And I just wanted to use this shade right here, which is called, which one is that? Sippin' on Stars, I believe. It's just such a beautiful, like, orangey shade. This one right here is just so beautiful. If it's not the right shade, it doesn't really matter. I think these were only available in this little limited edition blush palette. I don't think you can even get them, but they're beautiful. And then for my highlight, I went into the Lime Crime Highlight Mermaids palette, and I just combined these two shades. This one fell out of the pan like literally a few days after I had it. It just wasn't glued in properly, and it was really hard to save after it came out. So, and honestly, it was my least favorite shade in the palette. It wasn't really as reflective as these two, so it really wasn't a loss because honestly, I would use these two way more than this one. So I went in with Pearl and Mermaid to highlight together, sorry. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I just went into the ColourPop BFF liner again. And then for my lipstick, I went into the Lime Crime Velveteen in the shade Lulu. And that's all I used for my face makeup. I don't know why I can't speak. I'm just tired. And then I wore this Frozen hoodie that I got with my best friend 2 days ago, the same person I saw Dune with tonight. And it has like Elsa on the back. It's really cute. It's very comfy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I thought it was really cute. So I ended up buying it because I ended up giving away my 2 other Frozen shirts that I owned. I don't know how I gave away both. I thought I kept one and gave away the other, but I don't know what happened to the other one. So yeah, it was great. It was just really, really good, the movie. And as far as a reading update goes, I finished the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and this one was the Ballad of Never After. I actually finished it this afternoon because I actually had a lot of time to read this afternoon. I didn't have to get ready until like 4 o'clock. So I just wanted to bang out this book and finish it. And I didn't love this one as much as the first one. And I'm honestly kind of a little disappointed. I mean, it was still good. Don't get me wrong. I still really liked it. But I was not as in love with this one as everybody else is making this one out to be, because this is the highest rated one in the series. It's one of the highest rated books on Goodreads. This is a 4.54 stars. So I was like really, really overhyping this one for myself, I guess. And I just feel like the first one was 5 out of 5 stars for me. This one, I would say I can't really rate it higher than a 4 stars. It's still a 4-star read for me, which is still good. But for this, I didn't really get the same feeling that I had throughout like reading Powerless and Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like those were both 5-star reads for me. I was just like couldn't wait to see what happened. I was like, you know, you get like this feeling of like exhilaration when you're reading such a good book. That I didn't really get the same feeling with this. I didn't really get, there wasn't really much happening until like the last, like I said, like 170 pages is where it started to pick up, and it was good, but it wasn't great for me. So I don't know. It was just a little disappointing, but I'm still really enjoying this trilogy. It's just that one wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And now I'm just going to jump right into the third one, which is A Curse for True Love. I will probably finish this one in 2 days as well, because this one is actually the shortest one in the trilogy. This one's only 380 pages. The other two were 400 pages. I literally just started it right after I finished the second one. I only got through the first chapter though, because I was kind of like zoned out at that point because I had just finished a book. So sometimes your brain is a little bit fatigued, but I needed to get ready and have lunch anyway before I saw my friends. So I'm going to read it tonight and I'm super excited. So I have a feeling I might like this one even more. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like sometimes for me, you know, popular opinion means like a book is overhyped. But like I literally have loved most books that have been overhyped. Like Fourth Wing I freaking loved. I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, but my personal favorite is A Court of Wings and Ruin. I loved mostly the entire Throne of Glass series except for Tower of Dawn. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue my reading journey. But again, these are really short reads, so I really am so surprised that I've gotten through these so fast. Like my goal was to finish these this week, and I'm definitely going to do that because it's only Tuesday, and I'm starting the third one already. So I should be having this done by Thursday the latest, because I'll use tomorrow to read it fully, obviously, and then I'll probably finish it like Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening. So yeah, that's it. Bye! Okay, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm going to go to my boyfriend's house very soon. I'm just texting him what I want to eat. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then use the, actually I used the NYX Fat Lip Oil, in the shade Follow Back to, coat my lips, because I'm almost out of the Kaja one, and I wanted to see how that one felt. I almost wore it just as my lippy today, but then I decided to wear something else. And then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I wanted to go into the Druid palette. So I went in with Sage in the crease, darkened up the crease more with Forest, and then on the outer corners I used Old Growth. And then for my lid, I went in with Transformation. It's such a beautiful shimmer. Oh, I love this palette. This palette is just so easy to use, so easy to work with, and the shades are just stunning. And then for my inner corners, I went in with Serenity, and that's all I used today. And then I went in with Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone. I didn't show that I actually hit pan on this shade because I use it so often for my brow bone highlight, because it's such a fantastic, like, super white shade that I just use it like literally every day. That's mostly what I use this palette for, and I just use the highlighters all the time in this palette because the highlighters are stunning, but I honestly wish that was just a highlighting palette because the highlighters are amazing. And then I went in with the Makeup Forever not lip liner, eyeliner in the shade Brown. It can be a lip liner as well though, but I use eyeliners as lip liners all the time though, like just because those products are marketed as lip liners slash eyeliners doesn't mean you can't use a lip liner as an eyeliner. I mean, an eyeliner as a lip liner. I think that might be a little bit more sanitary than using a, actually, it doesn't really matter because you're only doing like the outside of your lips. You're not doing like the inside unless you're one of those people that like lines your whole lips and then puts a gloss on top. Then I wouldn't really recommend using that near your eyes because you're like contaminating it with your mouth. But when you're just lining your lips, it's not really like a huge deal using it as an eyeliner. And then then I used the Essence Lash Primer, and then I went in with the Act Natural Mascara by ColourPop. And then I went in with the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, and then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I went in with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Fair 1N. And then for my concealer, I went into the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear All Over Concealer in the shade 090. And then I set my under eyes with the House Labs powder, and then I set my face with the Pretty Fresh powder by ColourPop. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Makeup by Mario bronzer in the shade Soft Sculpt bronzer in the shade Light. I actually haven't used this in a little while, so I wanted to use it today. And then for my blush, I just went into my Single Blush by Cindy Grace in this Single Blushes palette. And for that shade, it's called Peaches and Cream. I forgot what the shade was called. It's just a really pretty peach blush. And then for my highlight, I actually went into the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter in the shade Iced Out. Because this one's just a really pretty like goldish green one, and I thought it went perfectly with this look. I just picked it out, like I didn't even think about using it, and then I was like, oh, this fits perfectly. Then I set my face with the Do It Spray, and then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. And then for my lips, I went into the Ultra Glowing Lip in the shade, I don't even remember what this shade is called, like the name is like, I think it's called Indulge Me. It's so melted at this point that it's so hard to actually use, but I just used my finger and just spread it on my lips. But this is like literally the one that I would use all the time, and it just started melting. Like that was a problem with those like when they first came out, but I think ever since those ones they've improved them, because the other three that I actually have not melted at all. So that's everything I used for my makeup today. And then as far as a reading update goes, I'm still reading A Curse for True Love. I literally just started this yesterday, and like I said, I only got like 10 pages in when I started it because I just finished the second one. But then I got another like almost 100 pages read last night. I think I read like 95 pages, and then today I read like over 100 pages. So now I'm on page 211, and I think I'm going to finish this. I mean, I'm definitely going to finish this by tomorrow night, the latest. But I am eating this one up. This one has been so freaking good. Like, I literally don't want to stop reading it. Like, I didn't feel that way about the second one. Like, I feel like I missed the memo about, like, why people liked the second one so much. I'm like, I didn't love that one. I liked it, but I am definitely enjoying this one way more. I'm getting like the same energy as the first book in this one, and I'm just so obsessed with it. Like, I literally just don't want to stop reading it. And it's also just so easy to read. So yeah, I'm definitely going to finish it by tomorrow night. I'm probably going to get another, like, I don't even know, like, I would like to finish it tonight, but that's a lot of reading. So that'll be like another 180 pages. So I probably will finish it by tomorrow night. But I'm absolutely loving this, and then I can start some of my other books by Friday, and I'm just really excited. But I have been having a really good time with this trilogy. It's not like it's been um unentertaining. I still have been loving the whole story, so I would still highly recommend it, even though I didn't love the second one. Maybe it's just me. I don't know why the second one was so hyped. I haven't really felt this way about an overhyped book in a while. I mean, I guess it just is overhyped. Like, usually I love most of the books that are overhyped. Like Fourth Wing I loved. Love A Court of Mist and Fury, and I love A Court of Thorns and Roses too. Those are all overhyped books. I also loved Iron Flame, which is the sequel to Fourth Wing. So, yeah, I mean, I loved Yellowface. So, I don't know, and Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, I definitely enjoyed more so than this second book. Like, I thought those were more entertaining. Even though those weren't quite 5-star reads for me, they were more like a 4.5. I would still rate those both higher than The Ballad of Never After. Like I said, I would only rate that a 4 stars, and I'm even potentially rating it like a 3.75 because I honestly like Once Upon a Broken Heart is like 5-star status for me. There are some things that made it like 4.75 towards the end, but at the same time, like Evangeline's like super obvious point of view is like kind of what you get used to in it. But also like with this, they're not throwing back. She's not throwing back as much to the second book as she did with the second book, throwing back to the first book. Like she did it so often in the second book that I'm like, okay, like, can we stop getting a recap of the first book and just get more of the second book's story? And I feel like she just put that in there to like put it in as like filler. But with this, it has just flown so well, and it has not lost its momentum for me whatsoever. It's just constant things happening, and I'm so into this one. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I'm freaking loving this one. So I can't wait to get to the conclusion. And I can't believe I will have finished this series in like 6 days because they're seriously like such easy books to read. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to start rambling probably by the next time I make a makeup look entry. I will hopefully be starting another book already, or at least starting it maybe by Friday, because I'm probably going to take tomorrow to finish this book. So yeah, we'll see how far we get tonight. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I just wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm just going to head to my boyfriend's house soon. I'm going to pick us up food from our favorite burger place. I just wanted to say, well, let me say that at the end because I usually give book updates at the end, but I always get so excited when I do. So I prime my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I use the NYX lip oil again, the fat lip oil, just to coat my lips, and then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. What else was I gonna say? I don't remember, but I used a new palette today. The Ensley Rain Cosmetics Groovy Garden palette came for me yesterday. I can't believe how fast this one came. I'm actually really impressed that they got this one out faster than the Cold Moon palette. I think the Cold Moon palette possibly sold out faster than this one. But as soon as I saw this palette available, I knew I was going to buy this because this is like their first like more matte heavy palette, and just the middle row has shimmers. I actually didn't film a first impressions because, oh yeah, I was going to say something about my glasses, is that since I wasn't wearing my contacts today, it's just really hard for me to see when I'm filming. So I decided that I would just film a first impressions on it tomorrow when I'm getting ready for work. I'm going to be using all different shades. Like I'm probably going to be using this shade, and this shade, and this shade. And then this shade on the inner corners. So I don't think I'm going to use this, one of these two. But it's not going to be any of the same shades that I used today, except for this shade, because this is a great brow bone highlight for me. So sometimes I do that and I just use all different shades. And also, like, I'm already familiar with their formula because I do have the Cold Moon palette, but there was no way I could say no to this. And I'm glad that they decided to make a more matte heavy palette, because I think that, one, they were trying to make it more affordable. Like I think this one was under $70, but still you get so many shades that it's so worth it to me. I think their palettes are absolutely 100% worth the money because you get so many eyeshadows, and these special shades are so freaking stunning. So I wanted to do like a peachy pinky look today because I'm wearing like this peachy pink sweatshirt. So I went in with Mystic Mauve in the crease, and then I darkened up the crease more with Marvy. And then for the outer corners, I just mixed together Hazy Dreams and Babe. Excuse me. Because Hazy Dreams was a little bit light, so I just wanted to deepen it up a little bit more. So I just used this shade. And of course, use my NYX glitter primer. And then for my lid, I went into the shade Jazz. I'll show you in a minute what it actually looks like without my glasses, but it's such a beautiful, like, peachy shade. I didn't want to necessarily go in with the pinky shade today. I'll probably use that when I do like a full pink look with this palette. But I was either going to go into this shade or Retro, but I really wanted to go in with Jazz just because it went with the look better, and it's just so pretty. And then, of course, like I said, I used Free Thinker on the brow bone. It's such a good brow bone highlight. I love that they put brow bone highlights in their palettes. Like, they don't forget about those super pale shades. And then for my inner corners, I went in with Moonchild. And I didn't think it was going to be so freaking pigmented because I kind of like swiped the pan a little bit with my inner corner brush. And it got like all underneath my under eye. So I had to put a little bit of concealer on. But it still looks like it's so obvious. But it's okay. So that's everything I used from the palette today. And it's so good. It works so well. I'm so glad I picked this one up. It's beautiful. I'm probably going to be using it for the next at least 4 to 5 days, or probably the next 7 days, because I want to use every single shade. 7 days. So this is what it looks like without my glasses on. How pretty, right? Just so gorgeous. And then I went in with ColourPop's gel liner in the shade Peach Fuzz. So now I already have 2 palettes from Ensley Rain because the last 2 palettes they came out with really piqued my interest, and they're pretty much the only brand I've been picking up palettes from besides Nomad. I've only picked up 3 palettes this year so far. I'm really trying to buy less eyeshadow this year, so I think 3 palettes is okay. I mean, it's only March, but I'm going to try and just stick to 1 palette a month, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't think I'm going to be picking up half as many palettes as last year. I'm going to try to keep to like 10 maybe. So I only have 7 more palettes to get, but also like ColourPop has been super boring in their palette releases lately, so it's not like I'm really tempted by them. And then I went in with the Essence Lash Primer, and then I just went in with the ColourPop Lengthening Mascara on the top and bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. And then I just went into the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer in the shade 10N. And then for my concealer, I went into the Tower 28 Concealer in the shade BH. I haven't used this in a little while, so I wanted to use it today. And then I just set my under eyes with the House Labs powder, and then I set my face with ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went into the Alviva Beach Bronzer by ColourPop because I just wanted to use that today. It's always my go-to. And then for my blush, I went into the not the Groovy Garden, that's the palette that I used. I used a singular blush, again, from Makeup Geek. This one is called Cherish. It's just a really pretty, like, peachy pink shade, so I thought it was perfect for this look. And then for my highlight, I just went into my Give by Gwen Stefani highlighter again. It's such a pretty, like, light highlighter. I like this one more than the one by RMS Beauty. I think that this one, it's subtle, but it still shows up, like, it's way smoother on my skin. Like, the RMS Beauty one, like, it should sit like this. This one just has such a nice, silky, smooth, light formula that this one just goes on to the skin better. Like, I can already tell, like, you can see, like, it just reflects so beautifully. And then I set my face with my Do It Spray, and then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Blush Gel. And then for my lips, I went into a MAC lipstick that I haven't used in quite a while. I used the shade Syrup, which is the Luster Finish, I believe. Yeah, it's just a really pretty, like, pinky shade, and I haven't used it in quite a while. So yeah, that's it for the makeup. And then as far as a reading update goes, I finished A Curse for True Love last night. I had to. I had to see what happened. Those books really don't take too much time to finish. I was on page I was like more than halfway through before I went to my boyfriend's house, and then I just decided to finish the last 180 pages last night. Um I read like 30 pages while me and my mom were watching a show, and then I just banged out the last 130 pages. And it only took me like not even, I think it took me like 2 hours. So it really doesn't take that much time to finish them. And I absolutely loved the last one. I think that one is my favorite. That one is definitely a 5-star read for me. There's just so much that happened. I shed some tears at the end because Jackson and Evangeline, ugh, you just were rooting for them to be together. And it was just so good. I think I might do a separate video on the trilogy, like before I do my reading wrap up for the end of this month, but we'll see. Like, I still have to film the first impressions on the Groovy Garden palette tomorrow. So then this morning I jumped right into A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and this one I was supposed to read after Bride, but I really wanted to read this one first just because I've had this one a little bit longer, and also I was in the mood for a good like murder mystery. I've actually never read murder mystery before. I've only read thriller books. Like Yellowface is more of like a mild thriller, and then I've just read Riley Sager's The Only One Left and The House Across the Lake. So I really do want to read more thrillers this year, so I really just wanted to start with this one. Depending on if I think I'm really going to love this though. I'm already on page 103, so I already got through the first 100 pages today. This is just so easy to read, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I think this has 5-star energy already because it's just so enthralling. So I'm probably going to be finished with this by tomorrow night. Definitely not tonight because it's like 383 pages, but I think 2 days should be enough time for me to finish this. I'm going to have a lot of time to read tomorrow during the day because I don't have to work till 4, and then I'll probably just bang it out and finish it by tomorrow night because I'll probably be on page like 300 by that point. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'm just going to jump right into Bride after A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So yeah, that's it. And I just posted my March TBR today, so you'll see that I might have changed some things, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter about the order of the books. It just matters if I read the books in my TBR. So like whenever the mood strikes me, I'm still going to read the books that are in my March TBR. So that's why I just decided to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder first. And also because I really needed to prioritize that one since again, I've owned it a bit longer than Bride. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I just got home from work. I actually worked a really short shift today. I only had to work 4 to 8, so that was kind of nice. Now I just have the rest of the night. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the NYX fat lip oil to coat my lips, and then I set my eyes with the Dior powder, the Backstage powder, and then for my eyeshadow palette, I went back into the Ensley Rain Cosmetics Cold Moon palette again, because you guys know I was going to be using this again today. And I filmed my first impressions video on it, but this palette is so gorgeous, you guys. Like, I'm really falling in love with Ensley Rain. I love their formula. I love their eyeshadows. They're so beautiful. So I went in with Good Vibes in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Earthy Ember. And then on the outer corners, I went in with Dig It. And then for the lid, I went in with Trippy. And this shade is so stunning. It's such a freaking smooth, almost multi-chrome kind of shadow. It's so gorgeous. And then I went in with, of course, Free Thinker on the brow bone. And then for my inner corners, I went in with Vintage Vibes, which is also a stunning shade. And then for the lower lash line, I went in with a little bit of Retro, just right on the inner part. And then I used Earthy Ember again on the outer part. And really love how it turned out. I think it turned out really, really pretty. And then I went in with Makeup Forever's Artist's Color Pencil in the shade Brown. I don't know why I'm so tired, though. I just need to go to sleep earlier. Like, we can't keep going to bed at 3:30. Gotta go to bed at, like, 3 or 2:30, maybe. And then I went in with the Amicole mascara. I don't even know what this mascara is called. I know they only have one. And then I went in with the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. I'm having like brain glitches right now. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Putty Primer. And then I went in with my Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation and the coinciding Haus Labs Concealer. This one's in the shade 050 Fair Cool. And the concealer is in Fair Neutral. The foundation still looks really good. I'm tired. And then I went in with my Pat McGrath Labs powder to set my under eyes, and then I set my face with the Dior Backstage powder, excuse me. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Haus Labs bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. And then for my blush, I went into the Clarity Cosmetics blush in the shade Honey Mustard. Do you see how dirty this gets? Because when you dip your brush in here, the pigment goes poof, and it gets all over the brush. It's just too pigmented. Like, it's too much product that you get on your brush. I haven't seen anybody talk about these, but it is kind of getting on my nerves at this point that it's so pigmented. Like, obviously I want my blush to be pigmented, but sometimes I like more buildable pigment than just straight up pigment coated all over my brush. No matter how little that I use, like I literally am talking about like the smallest little tap, and the brush is coated with products. So I don't really understand it, but it's kind of frustrating sometimes. And then for the highlighter, I went into my Game Beauty highlighter in the shade 03 Geo. This is the Elemental Pearl one. I actually haven't used this in a while. So that's why I wanted to use it today, and it's super beautiful. Then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into a MAC lipstick. This is one of the matte ones. And I went into the shade Naturally Transformed, which is kind of like a super mustardy shade. Oh my god, I just got like eyeshadow all over the keyboard. And as far as a reading update goes, I finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder earlier today. I finished it before work because, like I said, I was going to work at 4. So I finished it at 3 o'clock exactly. So that gave me an hour to get ready and get out of the door. Get out of the house, I mean. But I can't believe I finished it already. It only took me a day and a half. I read 215 pages yesterday, and then I finished the rest of it today. So I just started my next book. I brought this to work with me. I just started it. I mean, I'm going to read more tonight, but I got up to page 40 in Allie Hazelwood's Bride. I knew I wanted to read this book next. So far, I really am enjoying it. I mean, granted, I've only went through the first chapter because they're actually pretty long chapters. They're like almost 30 pages long. So, well, the first chapter was like 25, 30 pages. It's just a plane. So yeah, I really am enjoying this so far. It's really good. A lot of people loved this book. I was a little bit nervous about starting it though. I mean, but so far I'm loving the politics of it. I think it's so funny. I have laughed quite a few times, but this is actually my first Allie Hazelwood book. I know I just haven't gotten to reading any of her books yet because there's so many other books on the priority, but this was definitely the first one I wanted to read. I just flip-flopped my TBR and decided to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder first and then Bride. I was going to read one or the other right after I finished the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, so I just decided to read that one first. And that one only took me a day and a half to finish. This one I'll probably finish on Sunday night because tomorrow I have quite a lot of time to read during the day. But Sunday, I don't think I'll be able to get much reading done until Sunday night after work. So I'm planning on getting through like a significant chunk of this tomorrow. I want to get up to page 100 tonight. I know that's only another 60 pages though, but I do want to get the first 100 pages read. And then hopefully I'll read like maybe over, I'm not sure how much I'm going to read tomorrow. I might read I'm trying to read 150 pages tomorrow because tomorrow's my mom's birthday. So I don't know if we're going to be doing anything before dinner, but if we're not, I should have a significant amount of time to read during the day. I'm really hoping that I do, because our only plans is to go to dinner, and then Sunday I'm working, so hopefully I'll be able to read that Sunday night, because usually on Sundays I have someone with me until 6 o'clock, so I don't really get much uninterrupted reading time. The only time I'm able to read then is on my half-hour break, so... But I should have it done by Monday the latest, so I should be able to finish it by Sunday night, but... I can't believe I've been getting through books in a day and a half. That honestly, like, it's crazy that I'm going to take even 2.5 days to finish this book, but 2.5 days is more than enough time for me to finish this book, so I'm not really that worried. And then we'll jump into some other books. I don't know if it's going to be a single book or just going to be jumping into the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I might read just like stay in my TBR order and go with An Education in Malice and then read Kingdom of the Wicked. So I'll probably start it like possibly midweek next week, but I just want to start it like as soon as possible. But I should be able to keep my schedule. That's probably going to be the last standalone book that I read, and then I'll go into Kingdom of the Wicked. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So like I told you guys, I was going to go out to dinner tonight with my best friend and my brother's best friend and me and my mom and my brother to celebrate my mom's birthday. And we went to my mom's favorite sushi place and it was really good. We went around like 5:50 and we got back at like 7:45 and then we just watched movies. So yeah, it was great. So I prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I use the NYX Fat Lip Oil, and then I set my eyes with the Dior Pressed Powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I wanted to go back into the Ensley Rain Cosmetics Groovy Garden palette again. I was thinking about using a Natasha Denona palette, but then I was like, no, I want to use this palette again, because I kind of wanted to use like these like one of the green shades. So I went in with the mustardy yellow that I used yesterday, which is Good Vibes. My hair is driving me nuts right now. And then I went in with Grass to define the crease, and then on the outer corners I went in with Dig It. And then on the lid I used the shade Retro. The shade is so freaking stunning. So far I've only, well actually I've used... yeah, Retro, Trippy, and Jazzed. So these 3 shades. I still have these 4 shades to use. I feel like I'm probably going to use Lava Lamp tomorrow because I'm dying to use that shade. I'm probably either going to go into this palette again or go into a new palette that I actually ended up getting today. But that's only 4 new palettes this year. Because the Cold Moon palette technically came out in the beginning of January or maybe like late December. I actually can't remember, but I didn't get it till like the 3rd week of January. So, and then I went in with Free Thinker on the brow bone. And then for the inner corners, I went in with a tiny bit of Moonchild. Because like I said, this shimmer is so pigmented. And when you put them on the inner corners, they're pigmented as hell. So... but just beautiful look. So yeah, that's what I used today. I didn't have enough time to say my makeup look before I left. I picked up the ColourPop Golden Hour palette today because I was actually at Ulta, and I don't remember if I actually saw that they had this palette before. Maybe not, but I don't know. I was just so tempted by it. I was thinking about this palette for a while. And honestly, I've been kind of looking for another everyday go-to ColourPop palette. And honestly, I think this is going to be my new favorite. So I think it looks so pretty. I can't wait to use it. Probably use it like Monday and Tuesday when I do like lighter looks. Probably going to use the Ensley Rain Cosmetics palette again tomorrow. I'll probably just use this and film a first impressions on it on Monday. And then I went in with my Makeup by Mario black liner, and then I just went in with my Essence Lash Primer, and then I went in with the Lancome Idol Mascara on the top lashes, and of course the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. It never changes, so I don't know why I say it every time. But I went to Ulta today because I actually needed to pick up another one of my spot cleaners because mine is like completely empty, and I also picked up just like some refills of my favorite ColourPop products. I picked up the ColourPop Act Natural Mascara and the Lengthening Mascara, and then I also picked up another backup of my Pretty Fresh powder. This is going to be my third one. Can you believe I went through this powder twice already? It's still my favorite. I can't speak apparently. And then I prime my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Putty Primer. And then for my foundation, I went into the Tom Ford's Traceless Stick Foundation. Right? Traceless Foundation Stick in the shade 0.0 Pearl. I kind of know why they changed the packaging on this at this point, because it actually like wobbles around like quite a lot. Like for something that's like an $100 foundation, the packaging on the inside is pretty fucking cheap. Like honestly, the packaging on some other it doesn't even come with a plastic cap. And most stick foundations do, so they stay longer. So like this one doesn't smell at all, but I'm still glad I got it for half price, but like what? Like that was the only time I was ever going to pick it up. I was never going to pick it up at full price. And then for my concealer, I wanted to use the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Concealer in the shade 0N1. And then I set my under eyes with Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Dior powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Christian Dior bronzer. Sorry, I have something in my teeth. The Dior Forever Natural Bronze in the shade 04 Tan Bronze. And then for my blush, I went into my Laura Mercier blush in the shade Bellini. This is the blush color infusion in the shade Bellini. This is just like one of my go-to shades. And then for my highlight, I went into my Dior highlighter. And this is the Dior Forever Couture Luminizer in the shade 01 Nude Glow. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I don't know why this is bothering me so much. I'm sorry. And then for my lips, continue to grab my lippy, because obviously I brought it with me. Oh my god, this is so annoying. I went into the... Are you kidding me right now? I went into the Pat McGrath Labs lip liner in the shade Structure. And then for my lipstick, I went into the Patrick Ta lipstick in the shade She's Single. I can never say that. This is the... It just says Lipstick Rouge. Apparently I can't talk anymore. Okay, and then as far as... So that's what I use for my makeup. And then as far as... Oh my god, my hair. As a reading update goes, I'm on page 219 of Bride. It's okay so far. Like, it's funny. And I'm having fun. I was having fun in, like, the first part of the book. But now I just feel like it's dragging a little bit. Like, I kind of want something more to happen. Like, people said this book is really spicy. But also, like, there hasn't really been any spice yet. And it's been more than halfway into the book. Like, he kind of scented her because he's a werewolf, and he has to do that in order for them to be convincing of their marriage, because basically their marriage is a sham. She marries him so she can form an alliance between the vampires and the werewolves, but not enough is really happening in this that I'm like super intrigued, but I still want to see what happens. Like, I know that it's going to get spicier, but at the same time, like, I don't really love books that rely 99% on the spice. And I'm more of a plot person, but also, like, I don't think this is giving me 5-star vibes. I mean, I know that a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's like Allie Hazelwood's best book. I haven't read any of other books yet, but I just feel like it's dragging a little bit right now. So it's kind of giving me like 3.5, 4-star vibes right now, not necessarily 5 stars at all. Like I said in the beginning, it was very funny. It's still very funny. There's some lines that are cracking me up, but it's not like This Spells Love where I was really, really loving it, and Better Than the Movies was very close to a 5-star. This isn't exactly like a typical romance though, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm getting a little bored. So hopefully it'll pick up a little bit more. I'm still intending on finishing it by tomorrow night. So I'm just going to read right now for probably like an hour or two so I'm probably going to get to page like 300 and then just finish the book tomorrow. I'll have like 90 pages tomorrow. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I just came home from work because I always work pretty much every Sunday. So now I'm home and I'm so excited to be home tonight because I can just curl up and read a book. Not necessarily a good one, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But I am going to say what I'm going to start tonight. I feel like I'm excited for. So anyway, I primed my eyes with Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the what did I use? I think my makeup looks pretty good actually. I like it. The NYX Fat Lip Oil, and then I set my eyes with the my hair is driving me nuts today. With the Dior pressed powder, like I don't know why it keeps on getting in my face, like it's annoying the crap out of me. And then like I said, I was going to use the ColourPop Golden Hour today. I'm pretty sure this is the last look of the video, if I'm not mistaken. And I already love it. I knew I was going to love it. It just performs so easily. And I think this shimmer on the lid is so beautiful. So I went in with Views in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Dreamin'. And then I used Far Off on the outer corners, and then for the lid I had to go into this glittery shade first called Golden Waves. It's so pretty. And then I went in with, did I even use a brow bone highlight this morning? I don't even actually remember using one. I thought I did. I think I went in with all that. Hold on a second. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I highlighted the brow bone today. Whoops. And even though there's like a bunch of light shades in here, I feel like they're not quite light enough for the brow bone. Why does ColourPop do that when they make a neutral palette? They don't put like a bone white shade in there. I mean, they need to accommodate just me, okay? I'm kidding. And then for my inner corners, I went in with Glimmer. Really, really pretty. And that was it. That's all I used. And I just wanted a simple neutral look today. And I think this palette is so pretty. So definitely going to continue using that. And then I went in with the Makeup Forever brown liner, the Artist Color pencil in the shade Limitless Brown. And then for my mascara, I went into the Ami Collet mascara. I love this mascara so much. And then I went in with the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. What else is new? And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Putty Primer. And then for my foundation, I went into one of my all-time favorites, the Makeup Forever HD Skin foundation. I just love this foundation so much. In the shade 1RO2. It always makes my skin look so good. And then for my concealer, I went into the LYS Triple Fix Concealer in the shade LG3. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Dior powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into my Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer today because I haven't used it in a little while. So I wanted to use this one in the shade Tantric. And then for my blush, I went into the Moira blush because I actually haven't used this in a hot second. I'm like, you know what? If I go in with it lightly, it's still going to work for this look. So this is the Signature Ombre Blusher in the shade 01 Sweet Peach. And then for my highlighter, I went into the Ilia Daylight Highlighting Powder in the shade Decades. It's just a really pretty gold. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into my Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. I hope I didn't leave my lippy at work again, because I do that literally all the freaking time. There it is. It's right here. And I have my snack in here from today. My room is such a mess. It's not even funny. So I went into the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Double Date. So that's everything that I used for my makeup today. And then as far as a reading update goes, I'm on page 337 of Bride. So I'm definitely going to finish it tonight. I think since I last updated you guys yesterday, I was on page, I don't even remember. I think it was in like the 200s or so. But I got like, I think I was at, yeah, like 208 or something like that. So I read a decent amount last night and today. I read like 50 pages today. I'm still not really enjoying this. I am not. There's just too many shifts in the mood of the story that I feel like the whole time this book is trying to figure out what it's supposed to be. And even like the romance parts, I don't care enough about the characters whatsoever. And I'm having a real problem with the werewolf, Lo, abandoning her. Yeah, abandoning his wife. For no reason. He just doesn't say why he's abandoning her. So, yeah, I'm not really feeling this book. I actually want to straight up return this after I finish it. That's how much I've been disliking it. It's shifting way too many times. Like, in the beginning, it was really funny. I was having a good time reading it in the beginning. And then it completely shifted to, like, this super serious, like, tone. And then it just got boring to me. Like, there was no banter between them anymore. Even though, like, the banter in the beginning was actually hilarious. And I really was liking it. And then now it's shifted to, like, an abduction happening. But, like, I care a little bit. I mean, I do care more about her than I do care about him. Honestly, like, I could care less about him. But I don't know. This book is just, I feel like this book was too overhyped. I mean, we have less than 60 pages left. So I'm going to finish it tonight, but because I don't DNF books. But for this to be so highly rated on Goodreads, honestly, like, I liked The Ballad of Never After more than this because at least I cared about the characters in Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. But this, I don't care about these characters whatsoever. So it's a fail for me. Like, and even though this is my first Ali Hazelwood book, I feel like for me, she probably should just stick to romance, even though I haven't read her romance books yet. But I'm going to read Love Hypothesis when I'm through my TBR this month. But I feel like I want to make that one of my top books or one of my priority books in April because I want to see if I like it more than this one. So I'll probably that'll probably be like one of my first books that I read in April, besides like the other two that I'm really excited for. So for tonight, I am going to start An Education in Malice because for some reason I'm like craving something really dark right now. Even though I was like, I want a romance, but I think I'm going to want a romance after I read this book. So I'm a little bit nervous about this because I heard it's a lot. And I've never really read anything like this before, but I'm still super excited. So, and I've never read anything from S.T. Gibson. I didn't read the Dowry and Blood series, so I'm going into this completely blind. I mean, I read some of the Twigger warnings. The Twigger warnings. The Twigger. I still said Twigger. The trigger warnings. Not Twigger. Twigger warnings. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. And I don't know. I guess we'll see. Even Riley Sager's House Across the Lake, I liked way more than this book. Because In The House Across the Lake, just the main character pissed me off, but I still love his writing. I still enjoy his writing so much that, I mean, I was so close to DNFing that book because it was frustrating me. But then I was like, it was like a 3.75 for me. This is like a 2.5 for me right now. So I'm teetering on rating my first book like 2 stars. I was going to give it 3 just to be nice, because I'm thinking it's more like a 2.75. I was going to give it a 3 for the way it made me laugh in the beginning. But I don't know. There's just something about her writing that I'm not really feeling. I've loved every other romance author that I've read. I've loved Kate Robb. I've loved Christina Loren. I love Ashley Poston's writing. Oh my God. Dead Romantics is still my favorite romance. But I don't know. Just not really feeling it. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Oh my God, let me do the outro. But also, I will update you when I finish the book whether or not it redeems itself, because I was holding on to some hope in the last 100 pages, because sometimes like authors just build everything up to the last 100 pages. But that doesn't necessarily make something a 5-star read for me. Like, I gotta care about the characters. I gotta care about the story. I gotta like feel some type of attachment to the characters. That's what makes it a 5-star read for me. Or if it's not boring. Like, Yellowface was so fast-paced. It was so good. Loved every minute of that book. Same thing with Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This Spells Love. All 5 stars for me. They were all friggin' fantastic books. So, and Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy is still, like, pretty much a 4.75 out of 5 stars for me as far as a trilogy goes. So, I still really love the trilogy. So, but I know I'm comparing to books that aren't really the same. So anyway, I will let you know tomorrow. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.